What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I want to share with you the pros and cons of a bold trade the New York Jets could potentially make for Saints wide receiver Chris Olave. So this offseason, we have seen Chris Olave's name come up a ton in the trade market around, just looking at wide receivers who could potentially be moved. We saw DK Metcalf get traded. We saw, I almost said Brandon Ayuk. It wasn't Brandon Ayuk. It was the other San Francisco 49ers receiver. Deebo Samuel gets traded, although Ayuk had some rumors swirling as well. But let's focus on Chris Olave and if this is something the Jets should do or not do when trying to fix the wide receiver room. So first, before we get into the pros or cons, why would the Jets be looking to trade for a wide receiver? Well, if you look at the depth chart right now, it's Garrett Wilson and a whole lot of nothing, right? Allen Lazard is still technically a New York Jet. They gave him permission to seek a trade. He also seems like a likely cut candidate. We'll see if he ends up getting cut at some point this offseason. My assumption would be yes, but I guess you never know with how thin the wide receiver room is. So that is why the Jets are looking to target a wide receiver. They could also do so in the NFL draft, but probably need to sign someone and draft someone. So let's start with the pros. He is a bona fide good to very good wide receiver in this league, and he would be a really good number 2 option behind Garrett Wilson in this offense. He started his career with 2 straight 1,000-yard seasons, which is obviously a plus. We'll get to his 2024 season in just a moment and why that's not listed as a pro. But in 22 and 23, very productive young wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints. He's still young. He doesn't turn 25 until June. So this kind of fits the bill of the type of player the Jets are adding this offseason. Pretty much they've exclusively signed guys in their mid-20s. Justin Fields, 26. Andre Sisco is going to turn 25 this offseason. Brandon Stevens is 27. Like, they are addressing under the radar guys usually in free agency right now who are in their mid-20s or entering their prime or about to potentially enter their prime. He's also a familiar face to newly acquired Justin Fields. They both went to Ohio State, and we saw Chris Olave have a reaction to the New York Jets signing Justin Fields. He tweeted out the fire emoji, and the OSU Jets would be the theme on offense with Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and I guess you could throw in Jeremy Ruckert and Josh Myers too, the newly acquired backup center. So this is someone that Justin Fields has established chemistry with. He was extremely productive with Justin Fields at Ohio State. He was extremely productive with Garrett Wilson at Ohio State. And getting that wide receiver back would, I'm sure, do wonders for, Garrett Wilson. That's a teammate that he really liked, playing at Ohio State. And I would not be surprised at all if that was, just an extra cherry on top, so to speak, about Garrett Wilson's future with the New York Jets. Now, we can't pretend there's no cons. There are absolutely cons to this type of a trade, and I understand if you are on the side of the fence that doesn't want to trade for Chris Olave. It's not about Chris Olave, how is he as a player, but just in general, does it make sense for the New York Jets? So concussions is really the big thing. He only played in 8 games last year, and he suffered 2 concussions, and he was out pretty much the entire second half of the season. Derek Carr has delivered him multiple hospital balls, unfortunately, which caused him to suffer some head injuries, and head injuries have been a part of his game through the first 3 years in the league. What would it cost to trade for him? Is this like the Jets having to give up pick 42, their second rounder, sending that to the New Orleans Saints in order to acquire Chris Olave? That might be rich for some people. I'm trying to figure out what his value would be. If it's anything less than a second round pick, it makes it a little bit more attractive. But with him coming off the injury, I don't know. Are you giving up 42 because the Steelers just traded for DK Metcalf and gave up a second round pick in the process? Is that kind of the same boat we're looking at? Or because of the injury, is it a later pick? I think if it's a later pick, obviously it makes it a little bit more attractive. But if you have to give up pick 42, that might not be the way this organization wants to go with the number of holes that they have. Also, you have a decision to make about his contract. He finished his 3rd year in the league. Do you pick up his fifth round option? Do you give him a contract extension? Can the Jets afford to pay both him and Garrett Wilson long term at the same time? These are all questions you have to ask, and obviously you don't want to put yourself in a spot that's stopping you from paying Garrett Wilson. That's something the Jets should do still this offseason, give him a contract extension. But the thought is, if you are trading for Chris Olave, do you also extend him? And he's likely to get, even with the injury, probably $25+ million a year on a contract extension. Garrett Wilson's going to get $30+ million. That's, I don't know, what, $55 million likely tied to those two guys would be my thought. He does have great speed. He ran a 4.39 40-yard dash. He can help stretch the field. He's made big plays down the field, and the connection that he has with Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields makes it like that's the appealing side. The risky side is the injury history, and would it make sense for the Jets to give up the draft capital, as well as the risk that comes with the injury concern. So I don't know. I feel very on the fence about this one, but I kind of just wanted to come on today and give you both sides of the argument. On the pros, here's why it would be good for the New York Jets. On the cons, why it might be a little bit risky. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Do you think the Jets should be trading for Chris Olave? If so, what kind of trade is it going to be? Do you give him a contract extension? What do you think the contract extension looks like? Or are you just going, nah, I'm all set there. I don't think the Jets should go down that road. Let me know in the comments or on social media. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.